Hi, so in this lecture we are going to know about performance of steam boiler. So to measure the performance we need to know about the equivalent of evaporation and boiler capacity. So generally it is performance is measured in terms of evaporative capacity. How much evaporation is done by the boiler? By this we can find or determine the performance. So for comparing the evaporative capacity of the two boiler, we should have the same feed water temperature, means at which temperature it is entering into the economizer, then working pressure, fuel and the final condition of the steam. So these parameters should be same for comparing two or more boiler. Okay, so there we have seen the standard pressure and temperature assumed as 1.013 bar, means 1 atmospheric, and 100 degrees centigrade respectively. So that is assumed as the standard pressure and temperature. Okay, so before going to know about the equivalence of evaporation, we let's see the we have seen in Rankine cycle, this is the part of boiler. Okay, so this is 1, this is 2 and this is the total occurs in boiler. So here from the subcooled position to the saturated liquid, this step is heated in economizer, then saturated steam to saturated saturated liquid to saturated steam is at evaporator, and from saturated steam to superheated steam is heated by superheater, and this one is evaporator. Sorry. So these three components. So this is our economizer heating, this is evaporative heating, and this is superheater. So these three is important for us. Okay, so now let's see the next parameters, that is our equivalent of evaporation, and this used to define by capital E. And also sometimes it is said that equivalent of evaporation from and at 100 degrees centigrade, because that standard temperature is taken as 100 degrees centigrade, that's why it is defined as our 100 degree from and at 100 degrees centigrade. Okay, so let's see how can I define the equivalent of evaporation. So it is the ratio between the total heat required to evaporate feed water and the amount of heat required to evaporate feed water from and at 100 degrees centigrade at 1.013 bar, means 1 atmospheric pressure. Okay, so uh, now let's see. So first part, total heat required. Total heat required means from this point to this point how much is heat required, that is defined as the total heat required, and the amount of heat required to evaporate feed water from an 100 degree centigrade to at all. So at 1 atmospheric, if suppose your water or feed water temperature is 100 degree centigrade, means it will be saturated liquid. So from saturated liquid to saturated steam, how much heat is required? So these two ratio is defined as the equivalent of evaporation. Okay, so total heat by heat required to convert saturated water to saturated steam at 100 degree centigrade, from and at 100 degree centigrade. So this is our equivalent of evaporation. Okay, so here the value of the heat to convert feed water from and at 100 degree centigrade at 1.013 bar is taken as 2257 kilojoule per kg. So this is the standard value. You know that water boils at 100 degree centigrade at 1 atmospheric pressure. So during the boiling, that how much heat is required, that is the 2257 kilojoule per kg. This is also our latent heat of water. Okay, so this much heat is required. So equivalent of evaporation, we can say capital E is equal to total heat required to evaporate the feed water by 2257. Okay, so this is our equivalent of evaporation. So let's see that what is the amount of this total heat required. So now let's see. So let us consider the T1 is the temperature of the feed water in degree centigrade. So here if you see this diagram, so here I mark that this temperature means subcooled liquid temperature which is coming from the feed water is defined as a T1. Okay, and corresponding to this temperature, the enthalpy is defined as the enthalpy HF1 or enthalpy or the sensible heat of feed water in kilojoule per kg of steam corresponding to T1 temperatures. Okay, so at this temperature, whatever the enthalpy, that is our HF1, and H is the enthalpy of the total heat required to evaporate. So from this to this, that is the total heat required, and this used to define by H, small h, and this is kilojoule per kg. Okay, so now let's see that H. So H for wet steam I defined as a H wet. So H wet means your steam is at this point. Okay, wet steam. Okay, so what will be the enthalpy? So enthalpy means our HF, this plus dryness fraction into this one, HFG. So that is our HF plus XHFG for wet steam, the enthalpy. Similarly, if we have saturated steam, then HF plus HFG. So HF plus HFG total length means we can say indirectly that is our HG also. Okay, so this is for saturated steam. And then we have H superheated. H superheated what? HG plus Cp into T superheated minus T saturated. So Hg plus Cp into T superheated minus T saturated. So by this equation we need to find the total enthalpy or total heat required. Okay, so according to the condition of the steam we have to use any of these three equation. Okay, so now let's see the heat required to evaporate 1 kg of water. So that is our total H minus HF1, because in this value already we have added this HF1 value. So that's why we need to subtract this. So H minus HF1, that amount of heat is required to evaporate 1 kg of water. Okay, so we can say that total heat required to evaporate ME kg, that if we say that this is our ME kg means total steam generated or steam produced, that is our ME into H minus HF1. So we can say that equivalent of evaporation from and at 100 degree centigrade, this is our ME into H minus HF1 by 2257. Whatever we have seen that E is equal to ME into H minus HF1 by 2257. Okay, so this is our equivalent of evaporation. So now that equivalent of evaporation also can be defined as a factor of evaporation. If the total heat is made for 1 kg of feed water to steam, the total heat required, and that factor of evaporation is defined as the total heat required to convert 1 kg of feed water to steam by 2257. There we have seen equivalent of evaporation ME kg of steam, here only 1 kg of steam, then we call this as a factor of evaporation. Same thing. So here Fe, so always Fe is greater than 1 for any kind of boiler, always it should be greater than 1. Okay, so this is all about our factor of evaporation. Next we will see the boiler efficiency. Okay, so boiler efficiency, how can I define? So boiler efficiency, it is defined as the ratio of heat actually required in producing steam to the heat liberated in the furnace. Okay, so basically that we have seen the total heat required to evaporate the steam by the heat generated in the furnace, means how much fuel has burned, and from the burning of the fuel how much energy or heat is released. That ratio is known as our boiler efficiency. It is also known as thermal efficiency of the boiler. So eta boiler is heat actually used in producing the steam, how much heat actually used by total heat in the furnace. Okay, so that if we make ME into H minus HF1, already we have determined in earlier case the total heat required, ME into H minus HF1 by C. C is the calorific value of the fuel in kilojoule per kg of fuel. Okay, so this is our boiler efficiency. And we have if we have ME, mass of water actually evaporated or actual evaporation in kilojoule per kg of fuel. So this is ME, mass of water actually evaporated or actual evaporation in kilojoule per kg of the fuel. Now MS, we can define MS is the total mass of water evaporated into steam. how much mass of water evaporated in steam. Then ME means actually evaporated per kg of fuel is defined as MS by MF, kg per kg of fuel, kg per kg of fuel. Okay, so this is our ME. So this one also it will be kg per fuel. Okay, so eta is equal to, if instead of ME we can put MS by MF, so MS by MF into H minus HF by C. Okay, so this is our eta boiler or boiler efficiency. Okay, now there is one note: if the boiler consisting of an economizer and superheater then is considered to be a single unit, then the efficiency is termed as overall efficiency of the boiler. If economizer and superheater is assumed as a single unit, then the boiler efficiency is termed as overall efficiency. Okay, so these two we need to know about or finding the performance of the boiler. Okay, so in next lecture we will solve one problem regarding performance of boiler. Okay, so with that, thank you so much for your kind attention.